welcome back to Mute to make you think. T.M.U.T. Greetings, everyone. I've been sitting here over the weekend, just typing up different things that have surfaced, just to make you think. As you see the heading, it is about getting to the roots of our Bantu spirituality. Okay. I find it very odd how going back into time, um, just looking at it from the angle that the dark melanated people who has been here on earth um, the longest is not given any credit in so many ways, not given any leadway. It's like, hey, we push you out of the way. Um, Even though we are a mutation of you all, doesn't matter. So a lot of it comes from why that attitude has became a known fact. Um, what is actually being shown throughout the world, no matter where you go. Something that happened, which one take it back to the Bible, want to say, well, we dark melanated people were punished because of sin. But remember, there are people that, if you go according to the scriptures, which even though they were dark melanated, they weren't the people that were chosen, that were given the commandments. But as this world unfolds and as we know what we know, no matter where we go, if you're dark melanated, Negro, whatever you want to call it, Black, um, African American, or from Africa or Haiti or Bahamas or Jamaica, and so forth and so forth, how they can tell who we are from a distance is the color of our skin. Once someone start talking, then it becomes where, okay, you're not from where I think you're from, or even though you're from where you are, it doesn't matter. You still are grouped into this shell of, we're going to treat you how we want to treat you. We got a name for you because of your skin color. So I was listening to a discussion earlier about ones in Egypt and ones that who are there now, how it has got lighter. And there are a lot of, white people believe that Egypt was always a white nation or a lighter nation because of what they were taught as well. So the lie just spiraled into deeper into a hole of what deceptions, right? So it just, I was just listening to something earlier and that just really stuck out. And it just goes so deep um, that I just think that, most people may not give a chance to really reflect. It's much deeper than that. Our Creator, He made us according to who we are. There's, a scripture or two, I know of one that says we were made in our Creator image. But we do know that mutations have came about, that ones that appear and look differently than others. So the battle is the ones who feel as though and who have been ruling, we at least could say 400 to 500 years. It's something about you being light or lighter or white that you fit into this. We want to put you up front mode. I've heard that from Cuba. I heard that, of course, we know about that in America. And perhaps there are other places that you've heard it from. So I say it goes deep spiritual that ties into why that is. We often, have heard that race is a theory, it's a social construct. But in actuality, the dividing of the two, that's the rival, whether you might want to accept it or not. And it happens to be that ones on the continent of Africa, according to the scriptures of the Bible, have separated them, saying Hamites and Shemites. But in actuality, the world see us all as one. There are many people coming forth now believing that, oh no, we all are one. Hmm. I can't lose the sight. I lose the understanding that we go back to what the Most High have allowed. There's a reason why this has been set in place. That's just how deep this is. It's deeper than what we saying people have came up with white supremacy. It's deeper than that. I truly believe it goes all the way back to being able to differentiate the I can't even say differentiate of the two. It's for a reason. I always picture that you have the ones that colonized and enslaved within the past 400 or 500 years. They, got under their umbrella ones who really weren't interested in doing so, but tied it into them so it can be a selling point. You look like me, right? I can, make sure that you're above these people because we have them where they need to be and how it's been set. Because when you look at the whole situation, I have some questions. And if I ever get a chance to ask once on the continent or, any historians from Africa, one of the questions would be why? Why people came and not enslaved or colonized one nation in Africa, but at least 51 to 52 nations, even if they weren't, you know, divvy up in different countries, 51 to 52 nations was conquered, enslaved, or, colonized. Why? So some people might say, well, they came with guns. And like, the saying is we were given the Bible. And when we looked up, they had, we had the Bible. First, they came with the Bible and they, as far as the missionaries, they had their way of doing things to, just um, work on the different people. But every nation of like 51 nation. So one may say, well, having guns to perhaps the tools or the different things that our forefathers have used on the shores of Africa. It didn't compare to the guns. But then it goes back to the Most High would not have allowed anyone to put his hand on his people unless we, did something against the will, and our time was now, which was called judgment. But, if you really think about it, was that really it for those who are not, into the Bible and understanding that part? What do you think it is? Were these people that brilliant who colonized and divvy up the shores of Africa? Were they that powerful? Were they that smart? Hmm. How so that this happened? That, so many things, if you're looking at it from the worldly standpoint, so many things has been hidden, burned, um, moved, shift upside down in the world. This river was called this, now it's called that. This area was called this, now it's called that. I'm gonna put so many different names on you people. So over the years, we'll change it up. And then, they're like, well, no, they were such and such. No, they were that. And then after, 50 to 100 years, who cares? Because that race or that sector of people already died out. The older ones, the new ones come up. You train them the way they want to go for 30, 40, 50 years. Then here come another group, then another group. And now you have them believe that right is left and left is right. Is a reason. I mean, logically, I can only tie it back to the Bible that would make it make sense. For all the things that we see happening now on the earth, if it's in mirror the Bible to me in so many ways, as far as prophecy. 2019 was significant. 2020 was significant. This year, 2021, is significant. For all the things that has happened, it ties so, close to what the Bible has said is going to happen about, redeeming the Most High chosen people, the restoral, the, judgment, the plagues. I mean, it's more in depth than of any other time that what we can recall, right, in our lifetime. So, there are people that say that every 100 years or so, there are times that people come to a place where they say at the end of the world is coming, Jesus Christ is coming back. But this time, according to a lot of them that will go in history, just say if this continues to play out for another 20, 30, 40, 50 years, they'll be able to add something else onto this than was different, which makes me believe that it is different, right? Is that the awakening in America, for instance, of the Hebrew Israelites. They can add that to the equation. That later found out that they are Bantus, which is Yisolele. See, this part has never been added into the equation. All before it was, say, a movement, but they were talking about still yet the still Jesus Christ. The mass of our people who woke up to this truth about from being Hebrew Israelites to Bantu, which is, Yisolele. We're from the Congo area. We're from Angola. We're from Cameroon. We're from, all the areas throughout the sub-Saharan area. This has now been added because not only the ones in America, but the ones in Jamaica, Haiti, in different places, certain ones are waking up along with the ones on the shore of Africa. Not everybody, but it's like a new whole awakening. It's like a new whole understanding. It's a new whole desiring to want to know more about what about our past? What about our history? As I look back, I don't believe there has been any other time that this has happened. We tie this into Deuteronomy 28. We tie this into Ezekiel 20. We tie this into Ezekiel 37 about the dry bones. We tie this into Jeremiah 30. We tie this into Jeremiah 31 about the new covenant that will come. For these many dark melanated people, and also they're from other nationality, races, many whites have said they have had a visitation or they have had revelation that we are those people that the Bible speaks of. I don't think this has ever been in history. This is all like a whole new thing. So if the Most High still allows us to be here another 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years in the same of us getting this knowledge, and the Most High have not restored us back yet, this is going to make history. Don't think that our so-called, what we would say, enemies are not watching. They're keeping track. I truly believe if you read this 20 years from now, they're gonna like, yeah, there was a moment where the awakening came, and wow, these people who looked upon themselves as like, wow, we are waiting on Jesus Christ. And as I was saying earlier, our people who have woke up to this truth, we know the difference between when it comes to Jesus Christ, the white Jesus Christ, even though some have moved on, say that he's black, melanated, that some have moved on and say that whole storyline surrounding that Messiah has nothing to do with the Bantu, the Yisolele people. But some still there, right? That moved from white to a black Messiah and saying we just had one Messiah. There's some of our people have moved and say we've had many Messiahs. They start naming out from Moses to Joshua to Aaron to these different, far as David, Samson and so forth. Family, this has not ever happened before. The lies, the deceit that has been circled around Christianity and has been brought to the shore of Africa, and those in America who our forefathers who were taken, they had to convert to Christianity, far as being baptized, and how when our forefathers got to America, they were stripped of their names, their language, their customs. And now we're getting it back. We're getting the truth back to whatever degree. This has never happened before. This is all new. This is different from back, in the 1800s, the early 1900s, or the 1600s, the 1500s, the 1400s, back in the 800s, or back in the BCE era. For us to know and have a sense, even more so, building a relationship and seeking the Most High. This is all new. That we can connect ourselves to the Bible, a book that was written that have our systems as the Bantu Yisolele all through and up through the book. That is called a Holy Bible, which is compiled of books that were compiled together. But I can't get over this part, the one about Jesus Christ. Whoever would have thought? We saw the picture, even me as a little girl. I always say, Jesus Christ, in my mind was he was cute, he was handsome. Could I possibly had a little crush just on the looks because I'm looking at the features? Now I'm like, what? When I see that any of pictures, I'm like, no. What was I thinking? But not only me, the mass part of our people who woke up in these past, you know, uh, I want to say a short span of time within the past 5 years, going back to 2015 to now, about 6 years, we more so got that part right. But remember when we didn't have that right? If anybody would have came and tried to tell us about Jesus wasn't white, we would have been flipping out like, are you crazy? But just the same, our people move from from the white to the black, and they still hold ties to it. Some of our people, but a great amount of them moved from that and came to the understanding that all through the Old Testament, the Most High speaks of that He will what redeem us, restore us, deliver us, regather us, right? And where I came to understand and what my beliefs are that the Most High, you know, would put His Spirit upon whomever, whenever, however, to carry out whatever acts, whatever deeds, you know. So just to make you think, family, as I'm looking at all of this, it's so much more we have to understand. And in my prayer this morning, what I prayed about was that my brain is moving, so many questions. Father, what about this? Father, what about that? Why is this? Why is that? Because it goes back to the core, a part of going back to the origins of who we are. To restore us is it's going back to a place where all the lies, not we're going to know part truth and part a lie. No, we're going to get the full truth. And I cry out for that. The full truth. The full truth. And I want to give you some things that I jotted down here. A lot of us, we speak and we talk to the Most High by calling the Most High. For instance, there's some on the shores of Africa says Sonini Nanini. Some says Tata Nzambi. Some says Mupanda, Mupanga, and some says, of course, out of America, Yahuwah, Yahweh, Jehovah, God. Some of our people, we just all over the place. But what I came to find out was in recent time was that actually the name of the Most High is a character, the characteristics of what Modis are carrying out or whatever he, want to come across. Because in a sense, if it's war, is a name, it's, it actually, all a part of the character, like our names. When our slave names were given to us, a lot of thought in so many ways wasn't, thought out, even though some of our people took on names from the Bible. But when you hear our people in Africa of their names, mean something that is in line and attached to the Most High. They even have a name ceremony. And a lot of our people going back to the continent of Africa, they are actually having these ceremonies and getting their names. So we'll be all on the same page of having and understanding the Most High name as one. Wow. It goes on. I went to say, what is the truth of why the Most High Allah wants to overpower His dark melanated people? What is the truth behind that? Was it because we sinned and the Most High put a line where the melanated people, no matter where you go, you're going to be looked upon in this timeline, no matter what? Y'all can't say that I'm lying. Not all people of each country may treat a dark melanated person a certain way, but there are people there that is ready to be racist or prejudiced towards them. There's some. No matter where we go, our color of our skin go, there's stories that are told. But what is the truth of why the Most High allowed ones? Does our people, on the continent, our elders, and ones over there who historians, what is your truth? What is your understanding of how could ones come and overpower the whole continent? And still this day, for those who say, oh, when T.M.U.T spoke and say in the 1960s Congo will be free, and then all these other countries will follow under suit. Okay, I agree with you all, but let's go a little further. The freedom was for ones to not have that ruling force over them on the land. That means that they will be able to roam and go wherever they want to go and do certain things. And even, perhaps the democratic way, vote for a president that also, in more so ways, a puppet. Even though if they come across that they want to do right by their people, it has been where they were able to be removed because the window of the timeline of Father redeeming us, restoring us, and delivering us was not up yet. It was just what I want to call it, a way for us to give us a little, moving space. There's a certain, saying that goes with that, but a little, work. I can't think of it right now, but you know what I'm saying. It wasn't where it was where when T.M.U.T spoke and said in 1950 that 10 years, which was 1960, which Congo received its independence. Yeah, but how so? It wasn't all what one would say, oh, we getting our rich back, our almighty back, we understanding the truth about who we are, so forth and that and this and that and that. No, it was where the people left the land who was ruling it and ruled from a distance, but put puppets in place. That not only happened in Congo, but it happened all out throughout Africa, of the 54 countries. And also look at America in 1865, supposed to be, oh, the slaves were free not to have to go into the cotton fields and wake up at 6, going out there from 6 morning till 6 down. I'm sorry, 6, which, or sundown, and listening to their master, perhaps getting whipped and not, this or that and the other. They had free range to work or not, to be on the land of their enslavers, ex-slave owners or not. But look what hand that they were given as the ones in Africa. They started basically from scratch. We were told about the 40 acres and a mule. Say we would have got, all of us would have got that. They brought in laws to, like the Jim Crow and the timeline, to what still give our people a hard time. So that redemption that we're looking for now, that we waking up and know that we the people, we have not received that yet. That restoral, we have not received that yet. And it's completion. But some people might say, well, I can see it moving towards that. I agree. But for what I'm saying, please understand, we will know when we are redeemed completely. We will know when we are restored completely. Father just gave us a little wiggle room. That's the word I was looking for. He just gave us a little wiggle room, a family. He was moving us towards this pathway where we will be able to see one day and know that we are his, because we didn't know that. A great amount of us did not know. We woke up to this, you understand, within recent time. But there's going to be a day and time where the people from Britain, Great Britain or UK, however you want to name it, the ones in America, the ones from China, the ones from Russia, whoever will have no say so over what we do, where we go, how we are able to function, because it's happening now. It's called the shift right before our eyes. And I often say, how Tata's going to do this? Family, it seems so impossible for us to get all the truth back that we were told that were lies. It's moving in that rim, moving in that lineup, but it just seemed like it's so impossible. But the only one could fix this, nobody but the Most High. And there's a reason why. See, we have been pointing fingers at our enemies and those who have enslaved us and those who have colonized us and those who has been very mean spirited towards us, white supremacy and this, that, and the other. But rightfully so, understanding and knowing that it's as if, and what I understand, it was a timeline that Father would allow a window of time for these people to be in that harsh status, moving towards lightening up the load until Father completely redeem us, restore us. But for those who out there who don't look at it from a spiritual aspect, what is the truth of how these people overpower our people on the continent and throughout the earth? Why are we, no matter where we go, we got a byword that is said towards us? When I say wherever we go, if they don't say it, they're looking at you like they want to say it. Are they thinking of, are they thought it? Okay. What is the true name of Africa? We call that often, many of us say it's the promised land, but what is the true name? Because when I did the research about Africanus, the father of Africanus, his father name wasn't Africanus. It's as if someone or people attach Africa to the what they call Africanus, but it's actually, let me look it up here just to be on the safe side here. Because what they tried to say, I'm trying to get the full name. So it's what is it? Scipio. How did Scipio get the name Africanus? Okay. So again, these people from Rome and European countries, they got access to the northern part of Africa. That's why I would love for anyone who's watching me from Africa, if you're a historian, are you someone who, have this as a part of your, wanting to know more and going deeper, dig deeper about understanding when the Europeans are the people from Portugal and so forth got access to the sub-Saharan all the way down to South Africa. They only, it shows, had access to the northern part of Africa, which will put you at Egypt, and their line timelines, what they would say Kush, so forth, because we see how the different, far as the intermingling and the different type of, far as the skin color, the hair texture, the bone structures have changed in those areas, right? As you know, I said Kush in Egypt. So Northeast Africa. Some may say, well, that would be East. Northeast Africa. They didn't have access to the whole far as West Africa, Mid Africa, I say, oh, well, Central Africa, and also South Africa until later on. And it shows around 1400s when the Portugal came. Now, some people say that these people had explored throughout Africa as they did trading and everything. But when I did the research, it showed where the ones such as the missionaries and those who had the intentions to want to colonize and enslave, they didn't come till in the 1400s in that capacity. So Africanus. So what took me when I say the Scipio Africanus, if you go to his father's name, when you look at his father, okay, he would have the same name as his father. And his father's name was, I want to say, Publius Cornelius Scipio. So Scipio Africanus wasn't his last name. There are many write-ups about where Africa, the name Africa, comes from. Afri, from the area, why it's called that, because at one point the whole continent was called Ethiopia, not just that little area over there, right? So for those who keep speaking on this and saying Scipio Africanus, the Africa was named after, no. Africa was attached to his name because he was considered to be someone who explored or discovered, and that's a lie. So let's make sure we get that right going forward for those who did not know that. What these people have done is that they will go places and they would attach their names to it because maybe they wrote something about it, or they say, oh, I discovered this place, I explored this place, I coined this place. It doesn't matter. As history speaks for itself, our forefathers of the land, even though a lot of write-ups have been burned, stolen, or destroyed, that's why we need to get back to the root of our oral communication and listening and talking and getting now things in documentation, since Father has given us that leadway to roam throughout the earth and travel throughout the earth and, learn things that we did not know before. What I call it is like Father is giving us wiggle room. He is opening up the pathway larger for us. And there's another saying that I used to say with this. If it comes to me, I will bring it forth. But okay, so I just wanted to touch base with that. So another thing here I want to add in here is that who sent the missionaries? Okay. These are questions. I'm just putting it out here to give you to think. Why the missionaries came to Africa? When did the first colonizers came to Africa? When did the first explorers came to the shores of Africa, and which country? Because, we will look at Africa, we will look at it and say, oh, they came and took over Africa, the Romans, the Persians. No, they only had access to Carthage, which at north part of Africa, and what you call Egypt, and it kind of went over to your right, which would be what, Ethiopia or Kush or whatnot you want to say, but that would be considered North and Northeast Africa. Okay. The missionaries came with an agenda. Okay. Now it was prophesied, it was told by the Most High, according to ones from South Africa, that they were told that a black book with a red mouth was coming. But the book that the missionaries brought, was that the book that the Most High was speaking of? Okay. When did the first colonizers came to Africa? When did the first explorers came to the shores? I read that already. Then I move on down to the feast days. We as the Hebrew Israelites, which all we did, family, is we have put ourselves in the situation to mimic and mark the Ish people. A lot of our people don't even want to tie into the Bantu, the Isolde people, because you feel like that's not the mark. But what I came to understand and see is that the world painted the picture, and I'm just excluding us, saying that they will not know. They will not know for a long, long time. So we're going to just put this right here. Let's allow this book. These people are going to show up and say, we are those people, the Ish people, and they did. They was going to move into the land at a certain timeline, and they did. All this time, they didn't had you looking at the true people, which were the Bantu, but how we got to a place to understand this and how they got to a place to understand this or question it. Not all of Africa, the shore of Africa. They started seeing within the Bible the customs. They said, well, this is things that we do. But in their mind, they probably said, well, the whole world probably do the same thing too. No. But once Father started waking us up, we started noticing that these people is us and we these people. These people, when they said the migration of the Bantus, they started linking it in some cases, looking at it, was that the exodus of what they have out of the Bible. So what they did was had us to stay in, and the world to stay in the Bible so much and not look at real deal living, breathing people who literally the paper trail followed the Bantu. It never matched well with the actual Ish people because where they came from. And when it started giving us coloration far as how, say, the Messiah look, how the Most High look, you begin to question it like, well, could it really be these people that don't look like nothing about, talk about the woolly hair or the skin like, brass, and more things that talk about the slaves who went on a ship and all these things that happened according to Deuteronomy 28 as the curses fell upon the people on the shores of the continent of Africa and also wherever the slave ships went. But these people who have, embellished and took it for what it's worth, because all eyes were on people that look like them, not on us. It's like the Bantu people was hidden to a certain degree because they were always watching the Bantu while the world was, watching or staying within the Bible in the book. And a lot of it didn't make any sense to anyone because they kept the storyline in the New Testament to keep you looking for Jesus, that in any day he could come back. They didn't have the whole lineup of the Bantu in a sense of before the world, but they were doing documentaries on the Bantu. They were writing books about the Bantus, and they knew that the customs connect with the, the book. So when I think of the Bible in this timeline, I truly believe the Bible was given to us in the sense of that there's a lot of truth in the Bible, and then there's a lot of fluff. There's a lot of things that we consider shit, a lot of things that we may consider add on to or take away from. But all this time, the Bantu was just living their lives, not being bothered, you know, by anybody, living their lives until Father opened up the pathway to allow these people to come in and take people from the shores, scatter them, and also come back and colonize them 200 years later. Remember, Africa did not get colonized until 200 years later. After the slaves went in 1619, they didn't get colonized until 1885. Yeah. But they had, bunks in the ball to look towards the Bible and stay in the Bible. And then when these Ish people came forth and said, we are these people, see, we living out this by we having these feast days, we having the Sabbath, we don't even turn on the lights on the Sabbath, we even hire people to come turn on our lights and off this and do that, or we live in according to what the scripture says. But is it true or is it not that the feast days, what are the feast days that are similar to the Bible from the shores of Africa? We know they have the first fruits. I've seen them have that. But is this tied into what the oral generation have brought forth? Are you tying this back into the Bible? See, when I got to just make sure I'm looking at what I want, the purity. I want to talk with people that is pure, that not heavily indoctrinated. 1 minute they're talking purity, and then they allow the indoctrination of the Bible to come in to the mix. What you now entwining, the oral generations, what you've been taught and what you heard that have been passed on generation without even the Bible. Then you go and you grab back the Bible, parts of it, and try to entwine it into what it is and getting it all mixed up. I truly believe. I'm just saying this. This is what I believe. I'm here to make you think. I'm here to make you go deeper. What about the dietary laws? What about whenever, say, as far as eating beef, as far as, slaughtering a cow or, a goat, there's a technique, the way how they would need to do it. They know not to eat nothing that is already dead. That's in the Bible, but that has been passed down in generation to generation. But when it comes to a lot of things that, according to when we came into this truth, when I came back in 2017 and telling us the things that we could eat and things we could not eat, is that on the shores of Africa, the understanding that was passed down through oral generation? So we need to what? See what is what. Seeing what is what is and what's not. The feast days. When we start our new year, when we actually come into understanding about the new moon, all these different things that a lot of our people, who are still scattered all over the place. So some of our people now we're going to move to the beat of the drum along with our people from Africa, because hey, they learned this from oral generations. But a lot of our people still following the Ish people on how they do things. Words that our people already had in the Bible. I'm sorry, outside of the Bible. The Ish people, there is a Ish person who came up with the language. I want to say it was back in the late 1800s to the 1900s. Let me see who came up with the Ish language. Let me see. Let's see if I can get this right. Let's see. It's taking a while to come up. So when they say Hebrew, a lot of it when we were brought as slaves was Hebrew, which they were saying, speaking of like the Ebus. So it says the Hebrew language is central to Judaism, but several other languages have also been used in the biblical translation and interpretation. The Jewish language is particularly form that a language takes when used by the Jews, sometimes termed as I guess Realeolic. The term focuses on the social, ethnic, and religious identity. This is not what I'm looking for, but let me see what's created. So his name is what is called Elazar. I'm sorry, Elazar ben Yehuda. Netanyahu, who was the prime minister or president of Israel as of last year, he lost his term, I guess, this year sometime. His last name wasn't Yahoo, Netanyahu. His father changed their name after I want to say 1945 when they came to Israel. That should tell you something right there. If you want me to get that account, I will too. But you can look that up. So what is called I want to say Elazar ben Yahuwah. Okay. He's the one that created this. And it's called in 1881, it immigrated to Palestine. Okay, let's get a little bit more history about him. So this is not that long ago. But what we are finding out, family, is that they're trying to say that the Hebrew language, but it's actually Bantu language, because there are words that have been taken, and you can look up Johnny John on YouTube and you can see where she breaks it down and say these words out of the Bible is our words in Bantu. But see, being that over 2,000 and something languages in Africa, of course, if they take any of our words, we would know as African Americans speaking English. And they didn't know either until we started being awakened by the Most High. Look what these people are doing. Look what they have done. This is actually our word, and it means the same thing, but they just took off a front letter or either drop a middle letter. When they pronounce it, it's similar, or they might pronounce it a little differently, but it means the same thing as what, that it means in Bantu, that they may call Hebrew. But it's Bantu. It's Yisolele. So you're welcome to look that up too. I'll leave that there. But yeah, so when one's called this and that, these, appear to be fakes, and how they have taken our identity in so many ways and so many levels, family, it when you go and you take someone else's language or their customs, and you put out to the world that you those people, and you don't even regard that the people that who was original is still here, what is that called? That what happened with them, that they were asleep and now they're awakened and they come back to their true identity, instead of they should, if they were really real true about it, they would be rejoicing and be like, oh yes, but some of them that came forth and said, well, yeah, we are these tribes and you all are those tribes. No, we all those tribes. How can you get the Jews to be the overall tribes of the 12 tribes? If someone would ask the people, name other tribes of, the 12, they're like, well, the only thing we need to know is the Jewish people. That's it. Yeah, you would think so, because that's all what they push through propaganda. But it was 12 tribes, according to the scriptures. But as this unfolds, family, on the shores of Africa, it's more to it. It was 12 kingdoms. So much of what's in the Bible is truth, and so much is fluff. And we got to go back to the origins and to the place to understand, why would the Most High even allow us to even have to go through this? There's a reason. How difficult it is and how impossible it seems for us to get back to the core of where we need to be. It's all happening for a reason. And a lot of us are wasting, to me, our times on foolishness or things that of no, importance. But like I say, it could be your place and where you at in this walk, and you have to go through that pathway. But when we go to think deeper, we need to separate the lies from the truth, right? So we need to look at the feast days over there on the shore of Africa, dietary laws, the sacrificial laws on the shores of Africa. Did they sacrifice animals? Because according to when they actually prepare, like, an animal, it's for them to eat that animal, because it's to eat it. Which our people, which in the Bible it says, when they sacrifice animals, that those animals were eaten by our people. So that will make sense. That's like, okay, yeah, if you kill the animal, but is that sacrifice, or that's a meal that every day you will eat? So we need to go deeper, I would say. Okay, the restoration, a restorer of our people, is, what will it take, or when will it happen? The Most High name to be known throughout the entire world. Our true origins of laws and statutes, not ones that have been tampered with. The true location of the promised land. Where is our African maps by Africans, not by Europeans? We don't want to see those maps from the Europeans. We want to see the maps of Africa by the Africans. They know exactly what, when, where, and how. The restoral of the Most High people was removing the lies from the Bible, from history in itself, where we'll get our true language and our true customs. Okay. These are some points that I made. It says there is truth in the Bible. We can't lose sight that the Bible have a lot of our Bantu customs and prophecies that have came to pass that are written in the Bible. The Bible is a book consists of many books compiled together that have been edited, info removed, info added, shift, and at least 1,000 of contradictions within the two books. Now, I read an article yesterday that there's a mass amount of Africans from the continent who connects more with the Old Testament because it says these, far as our customs are in this Old Testament, saying that they don't connect with the New Testament at all. I read that yesterday. And if I get a chance, I'll give you that source, that source I got it from. The big why. When someone or people work very hard to discredit a place, people, customs, you must get to the root to why. This is a big why. When people go out of their way to discredit you, discredit a place, as far as location and the customs, the question is why. You must follow the money also. Are things as in following the ones are things that are benefited from the negativity of others. The big why, family. People gonna go out of their way to discredit you. They're making money off of this. Follow the money. Follow get to the root of who these people are. Why they're discrediting. Why they're trying to make sure like you invisible. They walk right by you. They walk all around you. Why? That's a big why, isn't it? Because they have something to hide. Our enemies, which is our enslavers and colonizers, all that benefited from the fall. They see this as a very difficult task for the Bantu Yi Solele to get all the truth back of all the lies and the deception that has been done. Boy, they're like, man, this, you know, we got it made. They will never ever find out. Because I always say, there's no way these people is this brilliant. The Most High had his hand in it. But I know they're like, well, we done cover up so many layers of lies, of lies, of lies. We got so many different, if there's a word, say Bantu, just say, then they got they got something about this, about it, and making it like giving it a different definition. So it's just so many layers of lies, of lies. They're like, they will never get to the root of it. But family, one day, Father's going to unveil and reveal all of us what we need to know, because it's slowly but surely coming back. Hallelujah. Thank you, Father. And it says, I also have here these points that makes you want to go deeper, seeking truth and to get true understanding. So these things have happened that I know that I can't say that the Bible is put an X on it. No, the Bible has a lot of truth in it, and because the prophecies have came to pass, and I was given scriptures that surface to reference as a way how for me to get an understanding or revelation. And I want to say it was from the Most High. So, like when I heard a male voice, which I believe it to be the Most High, in my living room in November of 2017, asking me about slavery, where it came from, and later within seconds was led to read about Noah and his three sons in the Bible, then was led to a website that once I clicked on a video link, a brother appeared to be African American that spoke English, said that we were we are the people of the Bible, which the Bible was written about us. This happened. These are points of matters that I cannot erase or take away and say, oh, this has nothing to do with nothing. Another point of matter, when the prince from South Africa was told through oral communication from his elders that the elders leaders were invited to go up on a mountain, or called to go up on a mountain, and through a cloud they heard the voice of the Most High saying unto them about the black book was coming with the red mouth, and also about like a coin. And they didn't understand what a coin was. They looked at it as it being like a button, but the coin was the money part of it, and saying, accept the book and not the coin. So, but was that the right book? But I have to say, Father intended for us to have it, because it's nothing that was done that the Most High didn't know, don't know. So all what we have experienced and what we are experiencing is because is what was in line for us to experience. It's for a reason. And sometimes it seems so difficult, family, that I'm like, Father, oh my goodness, this is so much. I just prayed this morning that Father will take this all from me if this is not the angle, direction that I need to go in. Because remember, I'm awaiting my next assignment. Is this my assignment that I will, get in line with, where I already, have a thought or thoughts of things and ways that I can go about getting to the root of these things that's as part of the restoration? Because what we may envision that when Father does things, like you see people slowly moving back to Africa because they said they were led to go back, ones are saying, no, that's not the way it's supposed to be, because the Bible said Father will regather us. But if Father led them to go, you can't say that. I can't say that. But it's real deal things. We might say, well, we hear it right now in this second, and before you know, bloop, we over there in Africa, or we bloop, we in the wilderness. Well, family, the Bible speaks of ways of transit, that how we can get on the shoulders of what? Our enemies, or those who will help, or we came over in a boat, a ship. We can go back wherever in a boat or ship. We can get on the planes. We can do whatever. However the situation is, family. The realness of it is that it will happen, but it will be in realness. It may not be as cookie cutter in the sense of like what you would call it supernatural in that lineup. But when Father touches the hearts and the people to do these things for us, they will be supernatural, because they all will be on one page towards one goal, right? But could Father just pick me up right now, put me into the wilderness? Yes, he can. I truly believe that. I could be sitting here right now, and before you know, it'd be like, well, where she went? I believe that. But as I experienced through my life, things has happened supernatural, where things are act out upon his people, me, or whoever he want to use to do it, and we follow suit. But is that impossible, that he could do it in the manner that would one say we get lifted up and we taken? That is not impossible. Okay. Another thing, that there are points that make you want to go deeper, seeking truth and to get true understanding. The manna from the sky falling in Angola since 1945. I want to say 1945 or 19. I want to say it was 1945 when famine hit the area, and they prayed unto the Most High, and the Most High allowed manna to fall from the sky, that they will be able to eat. And the manna tastes exactly whatever they said. They thought, probably was good. This manna is good. I mean, this is good. This is this, and this is that. And it's still falling down to this day that I know of. So these areas of which we go deeper, seeking for truth and understanding, that will makes me want to go deeper to seek for truth and understanding by the things I just put forth out there, family. I can't get away from what these just 3 bullets here telling me what I've experienced, what someone else experienced, or others experience. Hallelujah. Looking for truth by the way of your enemy's platform. So we hear on social media, Google, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, wherever, duck, duck, goose, or duck, gut, duck, something. What is duck, duck, go? Or y'all know what I'm saying. However the situation is, we're using our enemy's platform. So we think. But in actuality, family, Father controls all aspects of. If he want your car to stop in the middle of the road, he can. You be like, well, what's going on with my car? Father can fix your car. Father can break your car. Father can cause your car to go in an accident. Father can cause your house where you're living in right now to go 6 feet under, and they call it a sinkhole. Father can call a flood to come out of nowhere. They're like, well, we didn't see this on our radar. Here come the flood. Here come the water. Where did it come from? Did it rain? It only rained about 30 minutes, and look at the flood. How's this? Let's go deeper, family. Looking for my truth, okay? Looking for truth by the way of our enemies. I've said that, and it's crazy in itself to utilize their tools. So we think. But family, it's all in the Most High hand. And this time he knew that that he would wake us up in this era where we have access to all these different tools. But I do want us to use it wisely and so forth, because we can get caught up. We can get sidetracked, right? Okay. So that's all I have for right now, family. But I, want to give this project the name Why, the Why Project. Why? WHY. But I would want a name like an African name, a Bantu name. For this project, if Father give me leadway. The Bantu spiritual journey, are getting to the roots of our Bantu spirituality, are the Bantu restoration. And that'll be a part of like an organization. And then all this will tie into like with researchers and what you would call strives, and researchers, and then strives, and everybody will have their part, and just come into a line as part of the restoration of being a real deal timeline, to have our people to go deeper, and to, goal would be to take away the lies and just bring truth. You talk to, say, 20 different countries over there, and they're saying the Bantus came from Egypt, so forth and that. Well, family, we have writings that say the Bantus came from Egypt, say the customs of the Bantu, all of them, they all connected and know that they're Bantus. But a lot of our people, may say, instead of having a B in front of a word, they might have an M in front of the word, but it's the same word. You understand? They're like, oh, we say that's in our language because, this, where the Bantu might be in Kenya, would say different words, similar words that means the same, that sounds similar, but spelled differently, but we the same people. So this project or so forth, or this organization, however, whenever the Most High give me further leeway, because I've been talking about this for a bit, family, because this has been on my heart. But I prayed this morning. I prayed and I asked the Most High to remove what's in me if this is not the direction he wants me to go, and to take it away. And here I am on here talk about this now. So if I'm in any way, shape, or form out of line, I'll come back on here and apologize. I said, well, Father said, nope, it's not time yet. But this is for anyone who perhaps would love to be a part of us getting to the root, a part of our restoration, reclaiming our thrones. Contact me at yaroyalfamily@gmail.com if the Most High give you any leadway, any insights. There are people that already kind of say, okay, this person will be great, great, great. But if the Most High have not put that in the lineup, I don't know. So again, I'm still awaiting my next assignment, where I'll be led next, as far as a location where I'll be staying. Still awaiting, family. Still awaiting. The day is what? The 10th. So it's been 30 days since, somewhat of official that the house that I live in don't belong to me. It belongs to the Most High. Always, right? But far as changes have been made, it's been 30 days. I'm still here. I'm still here, family. So it's all in the Most High's timing. Now, whether tomorrow I might get something or this week, I just truly believe that the Most High will have already, because it's already methodically planned out what's next. I just don't know all the ins and outs of what is what and what's next, per se. Right. So just to have you to think, for us to go deeper. So welcome to, again, another segment of To Make You Think, to mute, not to mute you, but to mute, T.M.U.T. Thank you, family. Love you all. Giving all praises and glory unto the Most High Yah. Take care till next time. And get to.